we could be seeing breaking news here any moment. There's rumors circulating, and it has been substantiated quite thoroughly that Colin Kaepernick could be a Pittsburgh Steeler as early as today. The Pittsburgh Steelers are seriously contemplating signing Colin Kaepernick. We all know what happened with Ben Roethlisberger. He's out for the year. Who knows if he will ever return, or he might retire. I'm not sure what's going to happen there, but it is very, very possible and not out of the realm that the Pittsburgh Steelers in the next 24 to 48 hours, maybe after the game this weekend, will announce, and I think they probably will, sign Colin Kaepernick. I think they will. I think they look at their season as it could be a loss. They're certainly not a Super Bowl contender with Ben going down, and maybe they see, as it's one of those things where what are they going to lose if they sign a guy like Colin Kaepernick? I'm very adamant about this. Listen, teams have a right to sign him. He has a right to play in the NFL. I would never take that right away from him. I think teams are making a big mistake for a couple different reasons. Number one, I don't think he's a very good football player anymore. Maybe he will prove us wrong. But number two, I think he is a huge distraction. And I think there are fans out there that are against what he is doing. I don't know how that would go over in Pittsburgh if he decided to take a knee.
Well, and their backup quarterback is Devin Hodges, who had a very, very lackluster college football career. They actually traded Joshua Dobbs, who was their former backup quarterback, the guy from Tennessee, the week before Roethlisberger went down. So I do kind of understand the move as far as kind of creating a little bit of competition for Rudolph in that regard. And this is something the Rooney family would do. They're very, very diversified. They're very minority oriented. Now, how do you think that Mike Tomlin and Colin Kaepernick would get along?
I don't know. That's a good question. I have no idea.
And I know this. It would sell tickets. It would put people in the seats. And
you don't think it would turn some people off?
It might turn some people off, but it depends on how it's handled. But it would put the attention back on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it would take it away.
But I don't think
from the New England Patriots.
I don't think
which is what the Steelers want.
I don't think it puts the right type of attention on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But does that matter in this day and age?
Well, yeah, I think it does, because I think it's a distraction. I think it'll be a distraction for some of the younger guys.
Attention, no matter what it is, translate. Well, you said it yourself. They're not going to make the playoffs. What do they care about distraction? Their entire team is very, very young.
Well, yeah, I don't think they're doing any damage. I don't even think they're going to make the playoffs. Even if they did, they're probably going to lose right away. But I don't think it's the right kind of attention. I don't think management wants to deal with that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll sign the guy. I don't like Colin Kaepernick for a lot of different reasons. First of all, his girlfriend is a nut job. First of all, she is an absolute nut job.
Well, if we judged every NFL player by the sanity of their significant others, we'd have some issues.
But that's not why I don't like Colin Kaepernick. I mean, I've been pretty open about this. I believe when all this stuff started with Colin Kaepernick, and all of it started with him, talking to the soldier and taking a knee, I believe his heart was in the right place. But I think it is fair to question the timing of when he did this. And the timing of when he did this was when his career was going down the tubes. He was a backup quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, not getting any playing time, probably not going to be re-signed to another contract. And if he was, it would be a backup somewhere else where he probably wouldn't get any playing time. Why didn't he take a knee when he played for Nevada Reno? Why didn't he take a knee when he was a Super Bowl quarterback? He didn't do it then. And then all of a sudden a light goes off in his head that says, hey, I think I'm going to start taking a knee now that I'm irrelevant as a football player.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry.
It was an attention thing.
You have to question the timing. That's number one. Number two, you have to question his decision-making. For example, wearing the T-shirt, the Fidel Castro T-shirt, and wearing the pig socks, depicting all police officers as pigs, which is absolutely ridiculous. That's a page of the Donald Trump playbook as calling all Mexicans as rapists. That's exactly what Colin Kaepernick did. Make no mistake about that. That's number two. Number three, what has he done to solve the issue? And the issue we are talking about is the way law enforcement treats minorities. We know that there is an issue there. But what has he done besides taking a knee? And yes, he donated some monies to some cities with underprivileged kids. I think that's great and all, but it's not solving the issue. There are players in the NFL and many activists that have had tons of issues. Excuse me.
All right,
when it comes to law enforcement and the way they treat minorities. This has been going on for a long time. Many of those people don't just take a knee. Many of those people don't just donate money, if at all. They actually go to Washington to speak to politicians. They speak to their local police departments, the sergeants, everyone involved.
And a lot of those people don't brag about it. They don't talk about it. You don't even hear about it.
They do it behind the scenes.
They just do it because they have integrity. They have integrity. They're not trying to get something out of it. Clearly, Colin Kaepernick has milked it for everything that it's been worth.
And if anybody wants to call up and defend Colin Kaepernick at 702-257-5396, again, that number to call, 257-5396. If you want to defend Colin Kaepernick, I have facts to back up my opinions. The fact is that Colin Kaepernick has made more money off the field with this nonsense than he has on the field. You cannot argue that. Why is he not flown out to Washington and spoke to people that actually can change the laws in this country? Why has he not spoken to local law enforcement? I think I know the answer to that question because I'm not sure he cares about this issue as much as you are led to believe. I think Colin Kaepernick cares about Colin Kaepernick more than he cares about the way minorities are treated in this country. That's what I think. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers want to make a move and sign Kaepernick, go ahead, but I think it's going to backfire on him. I really do.
But I don't think it makes a difference. Steelers fans are some of the most loyal fans in pro football, just like the Packers fans are some of the most loyal fans in pro football. It's just going to bring, like I said, it's going to bring attention to the Steelers franchise that they don't have right now, that they need now that Ben Roethlisberger, his career is probably over. He's getting Tommy John surgery at 38 years old in the most physically demanding position probably in professional sports.
And, you know, am I a racist? Am I a racist because I don't like Colin Kaepernick? Am I a racist because I don't agree with what he is doing? Because there are people out there and there are organizations out there that will say, oh, if you're a Colin Kaepernick hater, then you're a racist. Well, you know what? You're a racist if you think that. My dislike of Colin Kaepernick has nothing to do with his skin color and has everything to do with his behavior and actions. Everything. It has nothing to do with him taking a knee, and it has everything to do with what he's done after he took a knee. Does that make sense? How can I respect somebody who wears a Fidel Castro shirt, an evil, murderous dictator that has killed hundreds of thousands of his own people? How do you respect somebody like that who wears pig socks, knowing that the majority of police officers are not bad people? The majority of police officers are good people. They are heroes who protect us. Yes, there are some bad officers out there. Yes, racism exists. Yes, in a perfect world, I wish it didn't happen. But taking a knee is not going to solve a problem. In fact, I would say it could make the issue worse, and I think it has. Look at the divide we have in this country now. It's unbelievable. 257-5396. We'll take a few phone calls on this one. Am I wrong on this one, guys? Do you support Colin Kaepernick? Well, let's hear from you. Or do you agree with me? You don't think Colin Kaepernick should deserve another chance in the NFL. Let's go to Roberto. Roberto, thank you for calling in. What's on your mind?
What's up, Roberto?
Anyways, tell him to get that shirt of Fidel Castro and go to Miami and walk down the streets and see what happens to him.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very valid point. It wouldn't end good for Colin Kaepernick, would it, Roberto?
But if he wants to take a knee, that's on him. But wearing the shirt, that's not a good idea.
No, it certainly wasn't a good idea, Roberto. We appreciate the phone call. Thank you very much. Yeah, it makes a very valid point. How do you think it would work out if Colin Kaepernick decided to play the Dolphins? Well, God, that team is so bad. They're looking for any PR. But what if he decided to, say, walk around Miami and wear a Fidel Castro shirt? How would that work? How would that work for Colin Kaepernick? 257-5396. Maybe you support Colin Kaepernick. I want to hear from you. 702-257-5396. Let's go to Pat. Pat, what's going on?
What's up, Pat?
Yeah, maybe he ought to go back to Cuba and help them kids that are underprivileged and all that and do something for them, teach them how to maybe throw a pass or something. But other than that,
very well.
In the United States, let him go back to Cuba. He can over and make his money, and he disrespects everybody that sacrificed their life in the military and everything. You kneel when you go to church, but by God, you stand and respect the flag and put your hand over your heart.
All right. Well,
well said, Pat.
I'm going to pull back on you a little bit, Pat. We might disagree on this. Now, I don't like Colin Kaepernick for different reasons. I don't have a problem with him taking a knee. I don't necessarily think it's disrespect. See, here's my opinion on the flag, Pat, and we might disagree on this. I think I look at the American flag as I look at religion. I think it means something different to everyone. It's something personal that, you take it for what it is worth, and nobody should tell you what the flag should mean to you. I think it's a personal thing. And I think for some of those players, maybe not all of them, but for some of them, it has nothing to do with, stepping on the flag or anything of that nature. They actually care about this issue. I just questioned Colin Kaepernick. But do you see what I'm saying, Pat? Did we lose Pat? I think we lost Pat. 257-5396 is the number to call. Again, that number if you want to be a part of the program. 702-257-5396 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Let's go to Damien. Damien, thank you for calling into the Vegas Take. What's on your mind?
About that, I'll be real quick. Colin Kaepernick, he's on the cover with his I'm from New York originally. In my 50s, I came up around the Black Panther area. I know family members who are Black Panthers. He has afro and his leather jacket. I started laughing. He hasn't done anything in Chicago. He hasn't stepped one foot in Chicago to talk about what's going on black crimes in Chicago.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Why is this such a big deal? It is a big deal what's going on with the police officers, right?
Right.
If he really wants to make a statement, he needs to go into the black neighborhoods.
Right.
He needs to go into New York and Chicago and other areas where there's real problems going on, and let's see what kind of difference he can make. Other than that, he's nothing to me.
Well, I agree with you, and I think the question that...
And in fact, he's profiting off of you.
I think the question that you have to ask is, what has he done to actually solve the problem? And you're right. The person that, make no mistake about this, Damien, the person that has benefited the most from the kneeling is Colin Kaepernick and nobody else.
Absolutely.
And that's the problem. Damien, I appreciate the phone call, my friend. Thank you.
Great call, Dan. We're going to soundbite that.
257-5396 is the number to call. Again, 257-5396. Our next caller, I believe, is Ron. Ron, what's going on?
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Brian. How you doing, man?
Good, man. What's on your mind? What do you think about this?
Hey, I didn't burn my Nikes because they were liberal. I burned them. I burnt them because of Colin Kaepernick. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you for that, my friend. I don't like the way all this stuff has gone down, and I don't like the fact that Colin Kaepernick has benefited and made more money off the field than on the field. I think it's a disgrace.
Hey, just really quick. Earlier, really quick. I don't know if I misunderstood you. Did you say something about midget dancers? 'Cause I have a friend. I call him Fidget the Midget.
Well, geez, it's one of those things where we interviewed this guy who owns a strip club, now turning it into somewhat of a sports book in Providence.
Yeah, Dick Shappy.
And I asked him what was the craziest story that he's ever had, and he told me he had two very small people that he paid, and then I guess they went across the street to the hotel and they almost drowned in the fountain. They fell in the fountain because they were so drunk. So yeah, interesting story.
Oh, wow.
Ron, it's always good to hear from you, my man. Thank you for the call.
Thanks, Brian.
You got it. I got to take some other calls at 257-5396. Again, 257-5396 is the number to call. And, Johnny, who's our next caller? Who do we have next on the line here? I believe our next caller would be Kevin. Kevin, what's going on?
Hey, just enjoying the conversation.
Thank you. What do you think about this, Kev?
Personally, I don't care if he signs or not, but I did want to draw a comparison to him, though.
Sure.
1968, Tommy Jackson and John Carlos. During the Olympics,
yes,
they raised their fist in protest.
That is true.
They pretty much did nothing.
Exactly.
So, but they did instigate the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of what Kaepernick has done.
Yeah, but I guess I hear what you're saying, Kevin.
Yeah.
But I guess my point is, if you didn't think that there were issues between law enforcement and minorities now, then you never will, or before Colin Kaepernick took a knee, then you're not going to think about that stuff after he takes a knee. That's the point I'm trying to make.
It was turmoil in '68 too.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But with everything that's gone on in the world over the course of the last few decades, if you don't think there were issues before taking a knee, I don't see people saying, oh, my God, Colin Kaepernick is right. Oh, my God, there are issues between minorities and law enforcement. Colin, thank you so much for taking a knee. You get what I'm saying, right?
No, I understand what you're saying. And like I said, I'm on your side, but I just wanted to bring up that point.
No, I appreciate that, Kevin. No, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up, Kevin. I am. I'm sorry. I got to get some other callers, my friend. I apologize.
That was a little battle.
257-5396. Let's go to Mike. Mike, what's going on?
What's up, Mike?
Mike, are you there? I think we lost Mike. 257-5396 is the number to call. And let's go to David. David, what's going on?
Hey, it's going fine. I generally agree with you, but when you bring up the point of taking a knee and it's like religion, when I go, I'm not a Catholic, but when I go to a Catholic church with a friend, I respect when I'm there. And I think, like you said, they're employees. The fact is, I don't mind if he stands, be respectful. Don't put your hand over your heart, but at least stand and be respectful while it's going on. If it's like religion, I respect other religions when I go to their churches, even though I'm not one of them.
I get what you're saying, David, and I respect your opinion, but the point that I'm trying to make is that I would respect Colin Kaepernick if he actually did more than just take a knee. I would respect Colin Kaepernick if he actually went in and spoke to politicians, if he spoke to law enforcement.
If there was some substance behind his actions.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
And I also agree, because I knew it from the beginning, it's his girlfriend that started all this stuff.
She's a nut job.
She is a nut job.
Yeah.
And he's a nut job for following it.
Well, you know what? You know what they say about men that listen to everything that their woman tells them. Well, I won't say it on the air.
But it could be argued that his girlfriend just made him filthy rich.
Yeah.
And a figurehead.
David, I appreciate your point of view, my friend.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you.
David.
Alrighty,
Thank you. Thank you for the call.
Here's a question: If this doesn't happen with Colin Kaepernick, where he gets this major Nike deal and he's this martyr, this borderline prophet, would Megan Rapinoe be in the same situation for going after Trump?
I don't know. That's a valid question. I think we have to do.
I think the answer is no.
I think we have to do rapid fire here because we have a lot of people waiting on hold. 257-5396. Jesse, you're next. What's up?
Hey, first time caller, man. Hey, finally somebody with common sense.
Well, I appreciate that.
You can like Kaepernick or you don't like him, but he's making his point. I'm Mexican. I honor the flag no matter what. I'll make my son stand up and honor the flag. It's one of the reasons how I grew up. I respect the flag.
Yeah.
But I respect whatever he's doing. And I mean, this is America, man. And if you're making money, you can make money. I saw people selling T-shirts of 9/11 right after 9/11.
No,
They're
I understand.
money, right?
I'm not saying, Jesse, make no mistake about it. I'm not saying he's broken the law. I'm just saying I have very little respect for him because he hasn't really done much to actually help the issue besides taking a knee. I appreciate the call, Jesse. Thank you. We got to take some other callers real quickly. Let's go to Lauren. Lauren, what's up?
Hey, Lauren.
I'm a veteran.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Thanks. I was drafted in 72. I don't have a problem with Kaepernick taking a knee. I think that it's an issue that does need to be brought to attention. Granted, he's not been able to work in his profession,
right?
So consequently, he does have to make a living. Now, you may not like the way that he's done it, but I think that life goes on. I'm also.
But you know what that's like, Lauren? And listen, I respect your opinion, but it's kind of like somebody that wants to raise money for charity and they don't have a job, so they take money from the charity. To me, that's what Colin Kaepernick has done. He has taken a knee and he's become more popular off the field than on the field. He's capitalized off that. It's just like if I said, well, I want to raise money for charity, cancer for kids, and then I raise all this money and then I take a big part of it and I'm making more money off of that charity than I did when I was working.
Okay, I know something about that firsthand. I have a child that has a long-term illness.
I'm sorry to hear
that. It's been in the public eye for over 30 years, and one of the 100 most influential black people in America in 2013 and 2014. So the point that you're making is a lot of times they don't have a choice as to where they can go to present their side because they may be they may have a negative issue.
Yeah.
So an organization might want to be careful about who they bring in to speak.
Right, and I think, and Lauren, I apologize, by the way, I'm up against a break. I got to go, but I want you to call back again because I promise you we're going to continue this conversation, especially if Colin Kaepernick is signed over the weekend, possibly by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Listen, I know we have a lot of other callers on hold. I apologize. My best advice to you is next time try to get in a little bit earlier. But, hey, we're probably going to be addressing this issue on Monday. That's why we do a show here 3 hours a day, 9 a.m. to noon. So join us, same time, same place tomorrow. We're going to take a little break over the weekend. We'll hit out back at you on Monday, folks. It's been a fun show, and we will catch you bright and early Monday morning. Sean Hannity coming up next.